Hello, this is Automate Horizon. May I direct your call? It's a wrong number.
We're imported and we're trashy. And we're here with
I'm
Bailey
imported from
Fox.
hell. Also imported from hell.
I think
We
we're
borrowed
in hell.
her from
we're
Satan.
We're in hell now.
We're in hell.
How are you doing, Bailey?
We're fantabulous.
You look
We in this
fantabulous.
bitch. Thanks. I'm actually very sleepy. I don't night shift anymore. I'm usually like laying down watching a movie right now.
That's what I'm going to do next.
It sounds very great, right?
Wait,
But
ASMR of me eating chips.
I like it.
I had to make sure I was really quiet for that. It's beautiful.
Wait, ready? ASMR. No, I'm kidding.
No, give us ASMR of you twerking. Give me twerking. I want to hear.
My room's soundproof.
That was great.
Did it clap? You made it
Yes. All right, no more screaming. It's like, no.
Okay.
I do what I want.
Get into the questions. Questions.
Yes.
Into them.
Tell us about your fucking venture that is completely reinventing the way sex workers build their sites.
I give you all the
that's
power to
good.
do everything yourself, whatever you want to do.
Bailey Foxes for the hoe.
Yes, for the hose. Because some people don't deserve their power, but we're not going to get into that. So you can get your own power, do everything yourself. We make websites that are way more than just link trees. You can have promo videos. You can block your neighborhood, town, city, state, or country from seeing your website. So like if you live near a school and you're a PTO parent or something, block your neighborhood. Let me pull this list back up.
That is a big deal for a lot of people that are too afraid to put their stuff up.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So we don't like advertise it or sell it, but we have accidentally moved my name up the Google pages just because our developers and SEO people and all the smart stuff that I don't know about, they did it like on accident because I was ranked
On accident?
well, they did a really good job and it accidentally moved me up. So it's like accident.
Okay, so wait, this is because of your site, because of your Bailey Fox site and your presence through Automate Horizon that Google recognized that and you're now more recognizable. So when somebody Googles Bailey Fox, you're the first.
Not the first, but I was like the very, very, very last. I was like page 9 and now I'm like page 6. And we just started doing little improvements a week ago.
Right.
Yeah, that's all the SEO worked at.
Yeah. And something, it's gone now. Never mind.
What happens if you Google Bailey motherfucking Fox?
Why would like to? Let's find out. Motherfucking Fox.
Bitch. Bailey MF Fox.
I said motherfucking.
More ASMR. I don't eat enough when I'm working. To the point where now my tits have always kind of been the first thing to go into a room, but now it's a little bit obnoxious. So
your tits look massive.
Tits are huge.
Yeah, my tits have never changed size. They've always been. I always was trying to border on like, if I want to, I can look like a super bimbo, but also during the day, if I want to dress it down, I can just look like a trophy wife. Like I don't want to borderline, but they're borderlining on obnoxious right now. And it's just because I've lost weight all the rest of me and my tits are fake, so they don't shrink. So now
it's huge or huge.
So I'm just trying to,
future.
on Sundays and Mondays, I like
shove your mouth full of food.
Yeah.
That's basically
peanut butter.
Every night.
Vegan pizza.
I'm just like,
yeah, I like vegan pizza. I'm not a peanut butter person. I do like peanut butter pretzels, but I'm not peanut. I fucking hate Americans' obsession with chocolate and peanut butter. I find it really gross. And I hate that you guys put sugar in your peanut butter. Peanut butter should be savory as far as instead of.
I do
I
like
the
salty
natural.
peanut butter.
Yeah, I don't like the stuff with molasses in it. It's weird. Anyway, did you find
Sugar
Bailey
and pasta
motherfucking Fox?
sauce.
No, yeah, that's weird too. I don't like that
That's
either.
disgusting.
I
I'm
know that's probably really
Fighting with
offensive.
motherfuckers
It's
in
probably
the
really
Midwest over
offensive to
this.
you and your people, right?
Yeah, you know what? Chris goes out of his way to just like, oh no, I need the Prague sauce. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's like sugared ravioli sauce. It's just fucking disgusting.
Is he trying to just make you? Next time he does it, you guys in the supermarket, I double dare you to just smash a jar of that Pringo sauce on the floor and start cussing in Italian. Just like, really, I want to see you do the like.
I'll record it.
Yes,
I
would go. I would love it.
film footage. I need the security footage. I'll buy it. What do you want?
Italian woman loses shit at American Midwestern husband for buying shitty pasta sauce. Come on now.
Yeah, it's gross. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's
good.
wrong. There shouldn't be that much
It is.
sugar.
It's disgusting. But I Googled Bailey MF Fox, and the first thing that came up was your stuff. I sent a screenshot to the group chat.
There is only one. There can be only one.
There it is. I put Bailey MF Fox. It wanted to change it to Mr. Fox, but it didn't, and it's still
that
and it still popped up with all of your stuff.
Well, that's awesome. I'm really interested in your merch store. Tell me about your merch store.
Oh my gosh, that's like one of my most favorite things. So I just ordered a bunch of glasses, like drinking glasses, because I wanted glasses, just new ones. I haven't bought some in like fucking 7 years. So I made Bailey Fox glasses for shits and giggles. You can like, I have not thought of anything that I couldn't make into Automate Horizon, Bailey Fox, like whatever. I have Automate Horizon. I made this like
You made me a shirt too. Me a few shirts.
I made you shirt. I can make anything, and it's so nice. And when I was featuring, I didn't have. I had like some posters, and then about 2 years in, I got some cheap, crappy calendars, and I got some magnets. And my print shop's really good, and they're cool, but it just sucks. Like my little tiny box of merch, it was like this big, weighs like magnets and calendars are fucking heavy, and you can't fly with that stuff. Like it's too heavy. And then all your costumes and stuff too. Now pieces of inventory weigh this much.
Right.
That's all I gotta bring with me.
Right.
Or I could bring my iPad. And then there's my merch store. I'm fucking sitting on a stand on my website. Like, here's my merch.
Yeah, that's cool.
Effortlessly. And then someone's like, oh, do you have any bathroom rugs? I'm like, no, but hang on. Now I do.
Bathroom rugs? Like
I was trying to think of something
they want to
random.
put their feet on you when they are getting out of the shower all wet and dripping?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's your clip. Oh, yeah.
Rub their feet together. Bathroom mats. No, you
I
can
was trying to
literally
think of
make
something
anything with
random.
it.
Can I point out that I was looking at Lauren Lotus's page, and she sells cum racks. That's all.
Yep.
It's really smart.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's ingenious.
It's great.
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I texted her right away. And I'm like, girl, brilliant.
And the
So genius.
picture on it is fucking hot.
I haven't
I
seen
was
the
like,
picture
wow.
yet. I
All
want
of
to see
her
it.
pictures,
Oh, they're
all of
so
her
hot.
pictures
She's
are
hot.
just devastatingly hot. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
she is.
She's hot.
I think she could take bad pictures.
Yeah.
What's
I've
up,
seen a bad picture of
Lauren?
her.
Lotus.
Hey, Lauren. We
Hi,
need to get
Lauren.
her on here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
She
need
will.
to get her. Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
after
be
bike
great.
week.
Yeah, it's bike week.
Yeah, she's busy,
Yeah.
busy.
She's going back online on the 10th, so she'll be
Very cool.
home
I
and
wonder
doing
how
stuff.
bike week's going.
Okay. It's okay. She's not mad at it.
Okay.
I was texting her earlier today.
I feel like it wasn't as great as it had previously been last year. And I was so busy. I thought about going last year, and I was like, I'm too busy. Like, I've got too many bookings, and it just seems like a lot of
Very fast-paced and crazy.
very drunk, very like aggressive sort of behavior that I don't necessarily want to have to pay to deal with, right? Like, because it's so much to go down there and everything. Like, because I'm in Tampa, so we just had the pirate, the gas gorilla and stuff, and that it's like it's super busy. I'm just like,
I don't like the wall-to-wall. It's too chaotic. I can't make money. I can't talk to anybody. You can't move.
I like the wall to wall because
like
there's
it.
less talking and just more like, hey, let's go dance. Cool.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
It's like if you can get the right timing in an environment like that, then you're like, you make it. If you're doing dances and stuff like that, then you wear the sluttiest, most obnoxious outfit, which is where, like these, they're really helpful. You wear really obnoxiously small outfits and you get a dance, you go back. And then if you time it right, you're coming in and out of the dance room because as soon as you walk out, someone else is standing there and you don't even have to cross get across the room.
Next.
Yeah,
Next.
is literally like that. However, if you don't get good timing or a good rhythm, then all of a sudden you're just squished in, standing there with guys who are trying to shove $1 down your panties and touch you inappropriately for no monetary, incentive. And it's just like, it's annoying and gross and you feel dirty and,
Yeah.
like
try to see what they
at the
get
end of
away
the night,
with.
yeah, your feet hurt for no fucking good reason. But, I feel like, Bike Week could be the type of thing where like you could be a bartender and really kill it.
Makes so
rather
much
than necessarily, you don't necessarily have to be, stripping or,
Oh
doing.
my gosh, there's
You could just
specific
be like
bartenders.
you could just be like a
that just make
bikini
bank.
bartender and probably kill it just as much. Like it's that type of vibe, which I'm not just flinging drinks. Like all power to the bartenders out there because I do not like standing still behind it. I don't like standing behind a bar. I hate it. And I used to do it when we had the club. I'd have to cover the bartender and I can do it, but it gives me no pleasure. Because everybody, you have to talk to everybody, right?
And you can't walk away.
Exactly. That is the magical blessing in being a stripper is you do not have to talk to anybody you don't want to.
Ew, you're
right?
mean. I'm leaving.
Right,
Mhm.
exactly. If someone says some dumb fuckery to you, you're just like, but like,
I gotta go over here.
the bartender has to serve each person. And therefore, you're kind of being held hostage by everybody that comes up. And so, yeah, like, I did not enjoy that. I don't want to have an argument with every person about the music or, like, I don't want to be called like
Yeah, I
this
hate
by
that.
people. I don't like all of that shit. Like, and yeah, like as a bartender, you can definitely advocate for yourself, but you still got to serve every customer. That's part of it, So it's just, I don't always standing there all night.
I
Oh, I
can't
do
sit
stuff.
still.
Yeah, no.
But I'll see something that needs done, and I'm like, I should go do that real quick. And
I was like, look, there's
I'll be
carpet on the
right
floor. I gotta
back.
help with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, it's got its own like difficulties in that job. Yeah. So yeah, big shout out to the bartenders.
Shout out to the bartenders.
Yeah.
I could never.
I follow a few of them on Instagram. Some of the ladies that go around to all of the rallies, and they have a great following, and they're beautiful and they're great. But I have so much respect for how they are smiling in every fucking picture because it takes about 8 or 9 hours before you can't even like, this is the face you're gonna get. I am having a good time. I'm just like, you're stressing my Botox. Okay. You're not paying me enough to fucking help cover it. And I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Stressing my Botox.
There's nothing fun about being really sober when people are really drunk. And
not a fucking thing.
Being well financially compensated for it makes up for it.
It does.
Right?
It does. Bailey.
Some people have an amazing personality for that.
I am not one of them.
I struggle with that because I feel like people it's one way. It's one thing to talk to someone in a certain manner if they're dancing and you're expecting to get a dance from them or have that private time. But it's another if you're speaking to them in that manner and you're not.
No. Yeah, you're buying a drink and you're giving them $1.
Yeah, it's like, no.
And then have you noticed at strip clubs though, there's always the guy that falls in love with the bartender or the manager or the hostess or the door girl. It's like they
You
want
can't
what
have
they
that
can't.
one.
Right.
Can't have that
They
one.
want what they can't have.
Don't a lot of managers like to push those girls to start dancing because they're like, you can make so much more money, and like, boom, there's your regular. But there's always
Some girls don't have they don't have the inclination or the capacity to do it, right? But those customers will stay and come specifically for those.
and they'll spend money to get into the club to hang out with them.
Yeah.
Let's keep going out to the door, putting money in
No.
the tip jar.
No,
That'd be
I
nice.
noticed it because I noticed it because all my staff is incredibly attractive, and I mean, so are my entertainers. But then it's like I watch guys like hang out, like I'll come up, to go and see the door girl, and I need to go, swap out ones for her and all that kind of stuff, and I go up and there's some guy like hanging on her at the door, like hanging on her table, like and I'm like, hey. What's up? He's like, oh, nothing. I'm not trying to get in the way. She's such a cool chick. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're just smiling politely. They're great. Sometimes those guys are really funny and they're good to talk to. And other times it's like, buddy, come on.
If they're cool and entertaining and funny, great. If they're annoying and trying to touch me for no money,
right. It's always going to be, every guy is different in that way. You know what I mean? Some guys have a better sense of propriety than others.
right?
But what do you guys
Be a
think?
human,
How did you,
sir.
right, 100%. How do you guys feel about like waitresses and stuff doing dances?
Care? Fine. I don't. Whatever. I think they should charge more.
You do?
Mhm.
Like a feature?
Yeah. I think they should.
Yeah.
I think they should, because the guys want what they can't have. Like they should fucking reach for it. Like reach hard.
So the rule, like what we do is, if guys want dancers with our staff, they have to wait till the end of the night and they have to take a dancer with them.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
I thought. And then that, if that girl feels a little uncomfortable, she's got
Well,
another
it's
girl
up to the
there,
girl.
too.
I'm never
Well,
gonna.
yeah, for sure.
It's never been. I'm never gonna tell a girl. I know. The staff that were entertainers or still are entertainers as well, and then I have staff members that have no interest in being a stripper, and they're happy in their role, they're doing what they do. So at no point am I ever going to be the one that advocates for them to go and be dancing, because I need staff. I can't run the club without those staff members. Right. Exactly. No, like exactly. I can't have an entire club full of just entertainers, like, because someone's got to pour drinks. Somebody's got to get singles. Somebody's got to, like, someone's got to assist. Someone's got to take the money for the dances. Somebody's got to let the people in, like all of that stuff. Like, it's not, I can't just have everybody,
I know there was a big issue with that in New York for a while. A lot of the girls there were
bartenders, right? And they're promoting all their bartenders and their bottle service girls over their strippers. Yeah, over their strippers. But I think part of it comes from entertainers. Well,
to share.
If they're bartenders and if their bartenders and bottle service girls are employees, they can put a model release in part of their employment contract, right? Okay. Therefore, they can use their pictures without too much of an issue, whereas strippers may not want to be shared, but they can also sign a model release. But when they stop working at that club, they're like, "I'll work anymore,"
Yeah,
so
just show using your picture.
There's that type of thing, but also they can easily stop a bartender or a bottle service girl. She's always got clothes on when she's serving. She's wearing a cute little service, like she's wearing the club brand, right?
It
So
looks better
that's
on
part of their
social
branding.
media.
Yeah, that's part of their branding. And it's easier for them to get that footage. But I get it. And I also don't think it's fair for those bartenders and those shop girls and stuff to be able to mid shift switch over, become a stripper, but still be serving. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like
Can
you
I
do one of
tell you a story?
Mhm.
Like, I was gonna say I'm all for this, and I am all for it because I think that sometimes girls, like, we can get lazy and we don't want to fucking get up there. And boom, we have a hot bartender, but she's not a dancer. Wait, she can do dances now. I think I'm gonna step up my game a little bit. Like, there's all kinds of ways to go. Like, I feel like it makes sense. But I was in a position once where I was brought to a club to do a feature show, and the manager was bringing in a high paying clientele. They changed out like $10,000 in singles, and by the time I got off stage, one of the bartenders was being covered by the manager to go do a room with the person I was making money off of because the
Well,
manager set it up. You know the
yeah.
manager, and you know the club, and it's no longer in existence. So I'm not going to say any more about that part, but it's a lot of money and flying people in, and then you're promising, okay, you're promising the
Yeah.
girls, you're
And you're
promising the
charging those
entertainers.
girls. And you're charging those girls to work. And then you give it to somebody that was being paid anyway.
Yes, and more than likely because she was more willing to do things that was
Oh, wow.
off the table for me, and that yeah, and never an
That's a
apology.
specific case. And your point right there, like that club is no longer in existence, right? So
Yeah,
they
there
were
you go.
doing some fucked up shit all the way along to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's, yeah.
It was like using the
that's the way to go.
features to bring in, and we were not getting paid as much because I do remember that I did one show and no, I did one show that night, and it was come over here, do this show, all of this money, and we're not going to pay you a bunch for the set, but this is what we have going
Right.
on. They like showed me all the singles they changed and everything. I
Yeah.
never saw those people
Right.
like at all.
Yeah. And
It
you
was
were
like a
not, and you
friend.
were not given the ability to be able to go and meet them yourself, and you weren't
Mm-mm.
introduced to them.
Never saw them.
Yeah, that's like a bait and switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not fair. I've been at clubs in South Florida. It is. I've been at clubs in South Florida, and I've been to the New York clubs, but I've only been in as a features. I know that they have a different way of doing things, but yeah, the clubs in South Florida, I've been a house entertainer, right? And those bartenders would keep serving, but they could go topless, and the guys would pay a certain amount. Well, that's all well and good, except the problem with that was one of these clubs had a stage which we were made to go on in the middle of the bar. So the stage was in the middle. The bartenders have like they have their area where they're walking around, and their tits were coming up to the stage basically, right? So it's quite deep. And then the bar is around the whole way around. So between the customers and the strippers are the bartenders who are topless and wanting to be paid because they're topless. And I would be in the middle on stage, and not $1 would make it to that stage, because anytime a guy would be like trying to tip you, like they would have to literally ball up the money and throw it on the stage or do this. But it's mostly old guys because it was South Florida. Like, they're trying to get the bartender to give this. They're never going to give that money. I've got my tits out. Why does she get the money? And that was for me, like, that was a huge. And before that, I never really had. I know, right? And it was like, right. And that was like that for me. So now I'm like, I have no problems, like, because I don't think that there's anything inappropriate, like, about like managers being strippers. Like, all of the managers at the club that I'm with now, they were all entertainers, or still are as well. And so I don't have I don't think there's anything inappropriate about your staff also dancing, but you have to be sensitive towards the women who have come in specifically to entertain that night and have paid a house fee.
Yeah. And God, when those house fees get crazy
especially
sometimes.
especially in South Florida. Like they have like this whole piece of paper that they print out, and it's got like 10 people's names on it. And if you don't have that everybody's signature on that piece of paper, then the security guy is supposed to not let you leave. And I don't know how that works, but like so I'm just running around the whole club handing money to each person so they'll sign my ticket, and that still happens. So it's like, I feel in those situations, if that's how you want to run things, then maybe let your strippers be the ones to make that tipping money.
I feel on the other end, why the fuck aren't these clubs paying people enough to where they are not also working for tips from the girls that are there to make money off of tips? Like, why are
Literally
people
because they
shitting on the
can. That's
girls?
it.
Yeah. I mean, and it's horrible because it's like, let's create a problem and then make the strippers fix it. And if they don't, then like go ahead and shit on them.
I had a club. I've actually had this a few times, but this very memorable. The July weekend a few years ago, and they went around if they were going to come in and work that weekend. If they weren't going to come in and work, they weren't going to open because they were, I don't remember exactly how they said it, but everybody was just staring. Are you serious? She basically said, if there aren't enough to pay the house fees, then we're not going to open. So instead of like, yeah, so like instead of trying to make money,
And how many
So
clubs have you
we're
been to?
anticipating it to be bad this week. So instead of us doing like promotion or trying to give customers maybe a half price or whatever, because it's around whatever time, we're going to make the girls come in to pay house so that we know that we can open. That's wild. Like,
And how many of those clubs are operating like that?
I don't know. I haven't seen that many. Feel like there's a few practices. Like there's still places that I go to, and it's not just South Florida, but there's like, I've been to clubs, we travel to really big areas and we travel to really small remote areas as feature entertainers. And there's been a few remote places where I've been like, but I'm not going to say where they are, but like I've walked into the dressing room and there's fucking signs up everywhere being like, if I see a girl do this, I'm going to fine her $50. If you behave like this, I'm going to fine you $200. I'm looking at all of this stuff and I'm like, do these entertainers not have access to the internet? Does this like club owner not realize like what a ticking time bomb is going on here? Like,
I mean, have we seen the news?
I'm like, yeah. I think, look, I've been to different clubs where club like managers expect tips or get tips, and I've always been one to tip everybody out who's taking care of me as an entertainer. And I've been very lucky and blessed in my life to make good money just about everywhere I go. When I don't make money, I feel like I can go up and be like, hey, I'm sorry, make money. I feel like nobody is expected. I've never had real terrible problems except for a couple of times with the whole sign out sheet thing where I felt like I was being really heavily pressed for a tip that I couldn't give. But I've never begrudged somebody working with me a tip. Like, I just feel like that's just the way, like, I've never felt like I shouldn't be tipping a person who's taking care of me that night. That's just the way it is. It's a luxury business. The customers should be tipping. They should be tipping everywhere at one. But I feel like as strippers, if the club is doing their job right, they are giving us so many ways for us to make money that the people who are doing those things for me should be getting something from me, right? Because I'm doing well. And I wouldn't have done well without them.
Yeah, if you help me
doing
make
what
money,
facilitating
I'm
it.
fucking
I
For
have
sure.
so, but now I'm in a position where, I'm managing and like, I'm like tipping is at your discretion. Like it's not, but, and I like some of my entertainers take amazing care of me, but I can't imagine being this person to hold it against somebody if they're walking out. Like,
I mean, they're like working for themselves, and like
right.
if we've got a job in as in a business, then you're assuming that that person's getting a check by the business, as an employee.
Yeah.
So when they're
100%.
just shitting on everyone who comes in and doesn't tip their employees well,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
feels like
Look,
maybe.
I like it's two ways. Like I feel like I feel like businesses should take accountability, and they should put good people in those positions. But I do feel like as entertainers, like we should be taking care of people. Do you know what I mean? And I don't
Yeah,
like I don't like
It's like
DJs.
they don't have to play that music that you like. They don't have
Right.
to
They don't have to
help you get that champagne or
sell you.
right. They don't have to they don't have to upsell that room for you.
Mhm.
They don't have to they don't have to encourage that guy to tip you really well on a credit card. Like all of that stuff. Like, I just feel like that it's a symbiotic relationship where everybody just takes care of everybody and we work together as a team.
But we're in a dog.
So, yeah. So if you're not doing that, if you're pressing, and it's not, it does feel like there is like an attitude with what some entertainers said, like, well, I'm not doing shit for that person. I'm going to get mine. But that's how it's been with a lot of stuff for a long time. If that entertainer doesn't take care of me every time, I'm not going to fucking help it. It's like, okay, but that is actually your job. So it's like this two-way thing. And that's why I feel like you can't, like, I hate that attitude. You can't fix shit with shit, right?
Mhm.
You just can't. You can't. I know that there's a better way of putting it, but like there's no, like, two wrongs don't make a right, I guess is the way you do it. Like it's this whole like going on around this like forever circle of like, well, it's instant gratification. It's about me and I'm not helping anybody unless they help me. Like this, just somebody at some point has to turn around and be like, hey, how about we work this out? You should be online.
Yes.
There are sites that can help you, especially Automate Horizon, where you could utilize all the sites.
Fuck them. I'm not doing anything. Okay.
That is how I feel about, because there's nothing, I mean, it's never been easier for you to be able to run your own business and work
You
from
can,
home,
yeah.
right?
Like,
So,
I fucking made a strip club, like, idol, all by myself.
yeah.
Like, in my living room. I have fans. I have money.
I love your setup so much.
Yeah.
When I walked in there, she had like phones.
Oh, no, I've seen it. No, I stopped. I went and stayed at Bailey's. I stayed at Bailey's house on my way. I had a bunch of bookings in the Midwest. So I drove up and I stayed at Bailey's place halfway. She's halfway. And it's like I walked in and I'm like, this is like, it looks like a porn studio. She's very obviously a content. I'm like, I've just walked into a content creator's house. This is how I would imagine this to look. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Is there like a camera on the ceiling? I did everything super budget. When I was making money on OnlyFans, and this was well before you were doing what you were doing. Oh my God, can you imagine if we had Bailey and Automate Horizon in 2020? Like I don't even know if I would have gone back to running the club.
I don't think anyone would have got back to work.
I started so budget. I was making good money though, but I was rigging the most ridiculous stuff. Like in my house, I had like a ceiling fan above my bed. So I'm like, I can totally hook up a camera.
I taped one to my ceiling fan in 2020.
Yes, right. Yeah. So I had those giant rubber bands, and those, the bands that you use like for like squats and stuff, like the big resistance bands. Yeah. So I had them like looped over my ceiling fan, and I'd created this support for my iPad so that I could hold it up at a certain angle and I could change the angle. And then if I could slowly spin the fan and get like different angles that way, but I could get a complete bird's eye view, but I could still watch myself. The iPad was great because I could still see the angle.
Yeah.
I could have it facing me, so I could see what I was doing to check the. But I would have made so much more money if I had been on Automate Horizon.
Yeah, and all the Sesta Fosta. God, your face, Bailey. Your face just changed as soon as I said that. You're like,
Sesta Fosta.
yeah, they're getting past all of that with
That
Automate Horizon.
Yeah. I understand from the angle where they're like, we don't want the kids to see the adult stuff. Me either. I don't want kids to see my live streams, even if I'm just kids. Yeah, I don't want that. That makes me uncomfortable. I don't ever do naked things lives like Chatterbait or anything like that. I'm never naked. I'm because I don't want kids to see me. That makes me very uncomfortable. But all this other stuff that's just fuckers, like,
are they using it? We're protecting you when they're actually just discriminating.
Protect you from yourself.
Protect yourself. You're gonna need it. We own our own servers. All of our software, all of our pairs, our payment processors, everything is like, yes, we allow porn. Yes, we allow adult act, and yes, I allow it, obviously. So if they don't have, we allow porn in the terms and conditions, but they also don't say no, we don't. No, you have to literally say yes for
we're gonna
with Automate Horizon, because I don't want anybody to be able to kind of wait and get one of my clients shut down.
Right. And at the point where you were to become such a big company, you're never going to turn around and be like, we have to kick sex workers off this. Because
Dude, that makes me so
really
sad.
Just for sex workers, right?
Yes. I mean, I have some people who vanilla jobs or with like 9 to 5 type stuff, or like I have a girl like beading stuff, and she uses some of our automated stuff because parts of our safe for work it's through a safe for work company, and it's how everything.
Are you talking about she does like dominatrix stuff, like consensual bullies? Beading. I thought you said beating. Is that what you thought she said too, Raven? I thought you were talking.
Tell me more. I thought I knew exactly who you were talking about. I thought you were
talking about a bully, like a consensual bully, like a financial dom, or like someone who like. I was like, is that
of my domination?
Is that considered dom?
In those two?
Yeah. Okay. Beating. Okay. All right. No, I was completely weird. Okay, that is safe for it. I was like, wait. Did America suddenly get way cooler about BDS?
Be a while. We'll have to climb our way back up there.
Okay. I have one of the girls that signed up. She started out as a sex worker, and then she moved to like more safe for work type stuff. So I'm not gonna tell a safe for work person can't use my stuff. Like, I got really fucking cool shit. Like, yeah, you can use it. I don't give a fuck.
Well, yeah, I don't have any. Yeah. Don't look at me like that, Bambi.
Yeah, so it's safe for work stuff. If that's it's running your own business your own way.
So as far as featuring, there's a whole section where you can write up your contracts. You can have your calendars right there for people to contact you for
you can
leads.
Self-book. Save yourself 15%.
And
15% and
save yourself
sexual harassment
and self-book.
And save yourself 6 months of begging for a piece of paper when you are.
You know that the club, when the club already wants you and you're just waiting for somebody else to.
Or they
send an email and charge you.
Or they say, oh
Dude,
no, Bailey's booked that weekend. How about they're in my bed waiting?
Yeah.
This is such a great way to get around all of that, because I have a lot of girls that are coming up to me and they're like, who books that? What do you know about this? What do you know about that? And I'm like, well, this is what I can tell you, but also I've been around this for a long time, and I've never, like, it after COVID, I was never consistently booked again. And I was fine with it. You know, my life changed and whatnot, but there are girls with some fucking talent that don't need to have to go through all that shit. Yeah. And there's others that use Automate Horizon
clubs,
that are booked for the year.
100%. 100%. And there's like, we know that you've got an entertainer that's completely self-booked. And she's booked all the way till 2026, right? And she's all self-booked. And it's like, but I think entertainers are scared to do so. They feel like they need to go through somebody. And there are people that need somebody to help them with those types of things. You know what I mean? So I think that's something that, you could look at with, giving people you've already given them the tools to be able to do it, but you want to help them utilize that as well. Some people need a little bit of coaching in that way.
Yeah, I want
Right. Yeah. Hi. That was so subtle. That was so fucking subtle, Bailey. I loved how you just slipped that on in there. Yeah, no, that's definitely something. That's definitely something that I'm like, I would look at doing, because look, I was really heavily booked, and I was blessed, like, both before and after COVID. I have and I did work hard for that, but at the same time, I had people help me and work behind me, and I utilized both the agents who liked me, and I also booked those clubs that were not too pressed about having to use agents. I also self-booked them. I'm more than happy to work. I was happy to work both ways. And I do think, unless you have a very good relationship with an agent, I don't think that there's any way you could possibly be exclusively with one agent these days and be able to, unless you have something that's unless you have something stipulating that they're going to book you for 40 weeks out of the year. Like, I don't know if any agency has the ability to do that anymore. I don't know if they even want to
reiterate that. I mean, I'm going to make a clip out of this, because a lot of girls that I've talked to, and this is over the last year,
right,
maybe 2 years, there's a specific agency that is telling them that they are exclusive to them.
Right. But are they being booked?
They're not being booked regularly.
Then how can you possibly expect anybody to be exclusive?
Because,
like, how can you tell somebody?
I'll tell you how they do it. No. They say, hey, there's only a handful of agents that are going to book you. I want you exclusively because I'm a more recognized name, and I have access to clubs with a certain name. And to a new entertainer, that's like, holy fuck, yeah, of course.
But if they don't then hold up their end of the bargain and give you those bookings, then that's a null and void agreement.
And yes, and you're right.
And you've got to be careful about their wording, right? If they're promising you verbally that they're going to get you X amount of bookings, but then you're having to sign a piece of paper that says, exactly, you have to have in writing that they're going to, in return for you being exclusive, that they're going to book you a certain number of times.
And I'm just drawing off of various entertainers' situations right now. There are some girls that are expected to be quiet when they're being fucked over with contracts. Because I've noticed that, yes, you sign these contracts, but if the person who has you sign it does not hold up their end of the deal, nothing's fucking happening to them. But if the entertainer
I've been in that situation
does, her career's ruined.
Oh yeah, she's threatened and everything. No, like so I've had that situation happen. I have been 2 weeks before a booking, not even 2 weeks before a booking. And part of my contract was that if they cancelled within that time frame, that they owed me the money for the booking. And it was like a week before, or 10 days, like they should have come up with that. I think it was 50%, or maybe it might be all of it, but I know that they were supposed to pay me, for the booking, because they were way, way outside of the time, whether they, it was well in that bracket where it was too late for them to cancel and not pay me. So they never paid me. And they never paid the girl who was the week before me or the week after me either. And it was like, the agent for a little while was like, I've been hammering him. I've been on him. He's a piece of shit. I'm going to get this guy to pay you. But then eventually they just don't, it just gets forgotten. And I was the type of person where I'm like, do I put this club on blast? Like, how is it right? You're right. But like, how is it going to, like, I'm like, I was like, what? I didn't actually do the booking. I've never shown up to a booking and not been paid for the booking, right? And I know of an entertainer who was, and it was a club that I previously associated with and had always been paid. So from that perspective, I did get involved. And I was like, this is terrible for your reputation, for you to not pay this person who has come and done these shows for you. Like, and she did end up getting her money.
Did she have to call them out?
She did. Yeah, she did have to call them out publicly. But like, for me, I'd never been in a situation where I didn't get paid when I showed up. And I did have contracts. And the only time when I self-book, still, even if I was friends with those people, I would still put in writing and have them have a written agreement saved. So even if I'm casually doing it, and you have to be so careful when you make these decisions, but I was comfortable in the time by the time I'd been here at the end, where there were clubs that I'd gone back and forth to and I was friends with, when they text me and be like, can you come here? I'm like, yeah, sure. I will come over. How about this date? I've got this date. I'll do these days. How many shows do you want? I will do you a deal where, you don't have to pay for my travel if I'm coming through this way because I'm already up that way, but get my room and pay me this many times, this much per show. Okay, sounds great. I'll book your hotel. And as long as they agree on everything and you've written it out, then that's great. But anything that you do verbally, do you know what I mean? There has to be proof of the agreement. Right. Really, you should have a binding legal contract.
And if you can't get that for some reason, email them and just say like, hey, I just wanted to make sure that I had all the information earlier and I don't forget. We talked about this, and this. Did I miss anything? Like, say, no, that's great. From a sex worker lawyer's mouth, a friend of our company, he said that that's binding. That email is binding.
Yeah.
Because you said, am I missing anything? And they say yes.
Yeah.
Just like a contract will.
Right. And that's, yeah. But it is funny that if you go through, you're in a situation and you have that legal binding contract, and then they still don't pay and your agent doesn't help you.
What's the point of the fucking agent?
What's that point? Right. So
did they take the 15%?
No, because they didn't get, unless they get a deposit. Because I know some agents do that.
Who said that?
But like, it's just, yeah. So it's hard. Like I imagine that it's quite difficult to navigate it when you're first coming into this, and you're going to take advice from people. And sometimes the advice from people is, like I've said previously, everybody has an agenda, right? And everybody is being fed from certain people and they have their own biases or whatever. So their opinion and therefore their advice is not necessarily in that person's best interest.
Sure, an opinion, a fact. That's an opinion, not.
But that's why right, 100%. But this is why whenever anybody comes to ask me for help, I am very quick to say, there is more than one way to do this. Like, this is how I did it. And I would say that I have managed to keep a good relationship with almost everybody. But at the same time, there were some relationships that were not benefiting me. And I would have, if I'd have continued down that road, I would have been taken advantage of and damaged my reputation anyway. So, those weren't serving me. But at the same time, I'm not going to turn around and burn everything down just out of, I feel like, but we're different. And I respect But I 100% respect what you did. And you were like, there is a better, fuck this. There is a better way for me. I fucking hate what I'm doing. Like, I put all this fucking time and energy and effort into doing this. It's cost me so much money. And I'm fucking miserable. Yeah.
all pain.
Exactly. But instead of just being like, but you know, there's plenty of entertainers who have experienced that, but they're still, after 3-4 years of making no money, sitting on the internet, talking shit about other entertainers, talking shit about everybody in the industry, and haven't done shit about it. You actually got up off your ass and you started working for yourself, and you've created this business. And now not only are you successful in your own right as Bailey Fox, and you're a content creator, but you have now created this platform for other people to be able to move into it. So I feel like if the industry isn't serving you, there are other ways. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to just sit there and stew.
Still feature without being pimped.
100%.
For sure.
I'm just saying,
Oh my gosh,
like you
girl.
can have exactly what
Right. But also, like, I feel like you shouldn't necessarily blame everybody else, right? Like, I think you should turn around and be like, okay, this is what I need from this, and how do I go about getting it? This person is not giving me what I want from this relationship. I'm not getting what I needed. They're not doing what they said they were going to do. Well, they are doing what they said they want to do, but it's definitely not what I thought it was going to be. At that point, you have to reassess your situation. Where for me, we had completely different experiences, and we got something totally different out of the industry, right? But we're still friends, and we still respect each other for how we navigated it, right? And I don't see why that has to be right.
I mean, bitching about something without a solution is like you're just kind of wallowing in it. But
Right.
it kind of gives these.
style, like fix it.
And yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So how can everybody find you? Like, how can people get started with Automate Horizon? What are the steps if they want to manage their own, if they want help, say, managing their social media and managing their content online, if they want to condense everything and get help through Automate Horizon, or if they want to start booking for themselves through their own site, or if they would like to be able to sell their merchandise online without having to buy a whole bunch of inventory,
That it sells.
how can
and
they
hope
do
that you buy the right sizes.
Right. How can they do
That's
that?
us then. So I tell everybody first to go to www.automatehorizon.com. It's linked on everything you see me on. And then it ranks pretty high on Google. It might actually be first. Read through the website, explore, ask yourself why you're here. What do you want? Go through the list and see if you can fill in your needs with what's on this website. If you decide yes, or you pretty much think you can, confused, message me, or a sale that goes to me then online. You weirdos.
She
don't be calling
listens
me.
in. You listen in.
And well, we have a few people. We have a tech and development team, and then a sales team.
And all of those people know that they're in the business of helping sex workers.
Oh yeah. Oh
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Nobody.
there's
Nobody is on my team that isn't respectful and supportive of sex workers, male, female, trans. I don't care. Like all of you, if you're a sex worker, or if you're not, and you just need help with your business, my business partner has for like dive companies and selling flip flops and like
all kinds of small businesses, right? Small businesses. I love how we refer to all businesses that aren't corporations as small businesses.
small
now.
business.
Well, what if I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mom and pop? Where's the mom and pop?
Yeah.
But I've noticed onboarding has been really easy, but also for someone like me who is not exclusively doing online sex work and that I'm kind of between things right now and kind of helping me clearly define how I want my brand to look and where I want it to land. It's been really easy considering how complicated I am.
It's unique to you. So if you're easy, complicated, you're kind of indecisive of what you want to do, it's your business. I don't have any.
So if I want to
Just
do
don't hurt no one.
like a coaching platform for like
Or book stuff for your
say,
photography. So stuff.
yeah. If I still want to sell a little bit of my like, I have like 20 years of back catalog stuff, right? I want to still be able to sell that, but I'm kind of past the point where I like taking requests. But I would much rather, but I would also much rather these days hear from entertainers who want help than, it's not that I don't care about the customers. I do care about the customers. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. I love my car and my shiny things. But I've come to a point in my life where I want to be able to turn around and make, this is one thing that I think you and I really love about each other, Bailey, especially, and you too, Raven. We've all like found these areas where we've become comfortable. We want to leave this industry in a better position than when we came into it. Right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Right. So I feel like, right. And I feel like the way we have completely different sort of strengths and different views on how to do that because we've had different experiences, but we can still come together and work together on certain things. And I think Automate Horizon is ingenious. And I think that, yeah, having someone come and help people utilize it, I think would be a cool idea.
Yeah, I think it should be for self-booking.
Yeah.
But not everybody, like when I first
Right. Bailey, you were so, like, you came and featured at my club, right? You were such a sweetheart, like, but it was at your own detriment. I feel like you'd been so, you were like, you've done a complete 180, right? From the person when I first spoke to you. Still just as talented and still as enthusiastic, but completely the opposite as far as your attitude. Because I remember asking you, I was like, we're right after COVID. I really want to have you. I think it was for Valentine's Day. I'm like, I think you'd be amazing for this. I think that I was going to really like you. Will you take this amount of money per show if we book you this many times? You were literally like, you don't have to book. I mean, you can give me half that. You were like, you literally said this. You're like, you can give me half that and I'll be happy. And I was like, no.
So
I was like, no, I'm going to pay you like a But then I asked you, but this is the finance is like, I was like, do you want to self-book or do you want to go through an agent? Because, and you were like, oh, I think I should go through the agent because I feel like everybody's hurting right now and I want to be able to take care of everybody. And I'm like, there was a long, I know you remember this long pause. There was a long pause and I went, okay, but just so you know, you were not recommended by that agent. And I have contacted you directly because I know that you're talented and I want to book you. Are you sure?
I was a team player in the
And you were like, yes. And I was like, and they did. And I've been, even at the start of my career when I wanted to do a guy, I never had that attitude. And I feel like, and I was like, I wish that because I don't like to tell people what to do, right? I'm more than happy to guide people or give them my opinion. I'm very opinionated. But like at that point, I know, I wish I would have said to you then, but I don't know even then if you would have listened. If I said,
because wouldn't it have sounded like
Bailey,
she's
I would
just
be
jealous
like,
or
Bailey, take this booking and keep the money, right? Like,
I'm like,
and I really did say that, right? it was like, but so I feel like at that point I do. I feel like you did. It was
like I
but
was
not even, it wasn't even a team like you, it was at your
I was a
detriment,
doormat.
right?
I was a doormat. I was like, no, let me help. No, let me do this for you. No,
I really
I'll
want
do
to-
that. I'll do that.
Right. But the problem
All
with
you that-
being that person,
You that I did that for. You. And let you a nice back you.
don't you dig that out. No, but that's what it was like. And it was, I feel like there's a lot of entertainers that are like that. And so you do end up being completely exasperated. I think you do have to walk in. I think the ones of us who walk in who are a little bit like, I'm not obnoxious, but when I am obnoxious, but that's right. But like, you have to come in with a little bit more, I don't want to say street smarts, but to have a little bit more, right. I don't like I don't like the fuck you pay me attitude. Like I said, like I like to tip out everybody and take, but like, if I'm not happy, then I'm not going to do a good job. Right. And so it's not good to fuck yourself over in the, exaltation and to help others all the time, because you're not actually helping the universe, right? If one person here is giving all of this to this person, right, you've not actually made the world a better place because you're suffering. There has to be,
We do have those agents that are so willing to throw you on a horrible tour and tell you that everyone does this when they start out. And I personally, once I spoke up for myself and did the math and explained why it was not going to be worth my time.
right.
Or I am a mom. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
and
you're
it's
like
not just
cut off. You're like excommunicated at that point because you
For 2
advocated for
weeks.
yourself. See, I was lucky. Like when I came here, I didn't have to do any of that bullshit because I had a man who had managed somebody else's successful career and knew everybody, had ran his own clubs, had managed, had done all the competitions, had done all of that shit, navigated all of it. So I came in and married a man with 25 years experience, right? And he had the respect of those people. So I was very, like,
Protected from that shit.
protected, right? And so when I came in and like, I knew like, I remember the first time I got offered a booking, I was like, I don't want to take that money. He's like, then don't take it, right? And that was my first decision. And I told the agent that I didn't want to take it for that much money. And that agent was cool and continued to book me, which is great. So snaps for that person who is no longer an agent. Sold their agency. But the next lot of agents
I was just about to say the exact same thing.
Right. The next lot of agents who were interested in somebody who wasn't from the States and didn't do porn was like, well, we should put her on the text. We should put her on
that one.
Beep, 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 beep. We should put her on we should put her on this tour. And my husband at the time was like, there is absolutely no way that she will be doing anything for that type of money with that. That is not a booking. She's not doing that. So unless you have better clubs and better pay, then, we have to. So I was never expected, like he put me on that, was like, he's like, this is your brand and this is what you've been working for all this time before you even came here. This is where you are. And if you start to do this, then you're cheapening your brand. Right. And that was something that I already knew and I understood, but that was great for me to hear that and have somebody have my back and help me. So that is where I was extremely lucky, and not many entertainers have that. Right. So when they first start in the business, and I did have already 12 years, right?
You were
already touring
up
around
here
Australia
when you got
and
here,
doing my own bookings and traveling back and forth internationally for things. So yeah, I had a lot more experience and a lot more, and had been fucked over and experienced those things. So yeah, when you came into it, it was it was like you were almost fed to the wolves, and I feel like a lot of
I went straight. I called the wolf mom. It was bad. And what worries me a little bit is that how scared I was to speak up and how even by not speaking up, it didn't change anything.
Right.
I still like it. It didn't improve.
I'm not a vocal because like both of you guys have had your had your moment, and I really respect you guys for that. But I have no need to turn around. Really, if I want to say something to somebody who's fucked me over, I'll say it very privately and directly to their face and look them in the eye. But I don't feel like I need to have. Yeah, I feel like I just don't. I don't care what other people really think. And while I want to protect other people, I would rather have all of those people that want to know talk to me, and I'll tell
Directly.
them. I just don't need to have
I
I don't know.
snapped.
There's like,
Mine was
Yeah.
a mental disorder. Mine
yeah,
was a fucking
Your whole
psychotic
world was
break.
flipped.
yeah. You really, but
I
you literally
snapped.
have.
It was just 4 solid years.
From the
Pressure.
outside, we
And
saw
pressure
something
and
else.
body shaming and having to compete with people and being made to feel like all of the people that all your colleagues, right, are supposed to be your competitors, right? That's what we're made to feel like in those situations. And like, we're all competing for this, but at the same time, we can't look like bitches. We can't be this. We can't be that. We have to change our bodies. We have to, all of this stuff. But also, you can't, if this person, no, but your body's amazing.
Yeah, you have a great body.
Yeah. But that's not, I don't think that's true. Like, if I think that there's a certain standard, but I don't, no, you don't have to. And there's the thing, like, the thing with body shaming, I don't know, like, there's like this old school thought of like, there was that look back in the early 2000s, right? But that is 25 years ago. That was like, you had to have really big tits, right? You had to have big fake tits and be really small, the rest of you. And that has changed over time. But there's still those people in the industry that still think that that's what sells.
Standard.
And they're right. That does sell, but not to as many people. And that the beauty standard for us has broadened, right? So if you're fit and you can do the things that you do physically, you fit within that beauty standard. And I don't think you have to modify it to be able to, And so, yeah.
Well, Bailey could put on a fucking show.
She can,
like
100%.
with nothing. She could put
100%.
on a great show with a fucking fan.
Right.
Learning before I met you and got to really know you while you were everywhere, all over the place, I was under a very different impression. Look at how glamorous everything is. It's beautiful. And look at you're on all these posters and holy shit, look at that promo. And I remember you complaining about the price of the photo shoot. And I'm like, yeah, okay. She's not getting that for free.
I'm
like, she's paying for it.
Yeah.
But they'll
you
happily
do have to
use
spend money
you.
to make, but you do have to spend money to make money, but you have to be so careful. 100%. And you have to be so careful with who you give your money to, whether they're actually going to help you make that money back. Right. And so there's good investments and there's very bad investments, and there's a lot of bad investments out there.
Bookings for friends, just for fun or just to help them out.
And I don't regret any of those. Most of those people
still your friends.
So yeah, like that's fine.
I mean, that's
it is
physical stress. Your body was breaking down.
9.
Yeah, that's.
So, maybe it is that we just have so many bookings that are available right now, but there are so many girls, like when there is one girl, you see her going everywhere, they're wearing her the fuck down.
A little censored. You cut it out. Some people's schedules posted, and I look at the places that they're going, and I've been there, and I'm like, okay, this is an exaggeration, but I'm like, $8, $4, a Hot Wheels eating donut. I'm like, what the hell is she getting paid?
But
it looks good.
At the end of that 2-year cycle where you're this like exalted person in the clubs in those popular places.
Princess.
Right. Right, you're broke, but then they no longer book you anymore. And you've put all your heart and soul and energy and time into that particular brand, and now they're not booking you. And now all of a sudden, what are you going to do? So, yeah.
And that's just it. And
I wasn't that person. And I was lucky. I was really lucky. I don't know. It's part of it was luck, but at the same time, it was also just that making those connections. All of the connections that I made, all of those clubs that I went back to that last year when I said that I'm going to be done with this because, man, that second to last year, I was so heavily booked and I was living the dream, right? And I was making money. And I was killing it at most clubs. Some of those clubs that I went to, I was like, man, I could have made more money house dancing. But, I also had a great home club that I was making money at as well. So that 2020, 2023, I've killed it. But by the end of it, I'm like, I would like to be at my home club more and sleeping in my own bed because this is the 13th weekend in a row that I've woken up in a Hampton Inn and I have to look out the window and I can't remember where the fuck I am. Like, yeah. And I have to, I have a fucking plane to catch at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to be on stage at 3. Like, all of that stuff. So, I was so grateful, but I knew at the end of that year, I was like, this is
I'm tired.
Okay. This has been a great run.
Tired.
Right. And I would like to be home now. So that last year, and I told everybody, I told my agents, I told my favorite clubs, I told everybody, these are the clubs that I love that have always taken care of me. These are my favorites. I make money there. The people treat me well. I love the entertainers. I love the management. Those people are my friends and my family. These are the clubs that I'm going back to. And they can book me as many times as they want this year, right? As many times as they can fit me in. This is what I'm doing. So last year was clubs that I love, right? And the rest of the time I was at my home club. And that was great. That was beautiful. And not one of them were those clubs that people seem to be like, oh, you got in with that club? Like, how did she get? No, they're not. There's some of those clubs are clubs that really heavily book entertainers. Like every week they book entertainers and they're great. They're just nice. It's just a nice, it's a nice environment. I like the people that work there and I go back there for them. And other clubs are clubs that I don't book that many feature entertainers, but I have a great relationship with them and a great relationship with their management and their customers, right? So for whatever reason, I developed relationships and that's what it is. And if you're doing what other people tell you all the time, you're not getting to experience that and you're not getting to develop those relationships yourself. You're being pushed into it by somebody else who is, I don't know what they're benefiting from it, but you're not benefiting from it. You have to decide for yourself how you feel about people. Yeah.
Cha-ching.
Yeah. All right. Oh man, we're gonna have to cut some of this. We're like talking so much.
Love you guys.
I love you.
I love you both.
What? Yeah.
There was no AI couldn't even figure out how to divide that up. Like Riverside was like, I don't know what to name this chapter. What traffic cones?
Like the traffic cones. Butt stuff. What we don't have. We've got a segue from like talking shit about everything to talking about butt stuff. Yeah.
I love you, ladies.
We love you too.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, Bailey.
And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Trashy Imports. We're trashy.
Like and subscribe.
Because we love you. Yeah, Bailey will get ya. Good night.